Okay, so my name is Iman Moore from NHS College in Newtown, North Dakota. So today we're going to talk about the strategies that we use at our institution for career placement so far. Let's see here. Okay, so I wanted to start with my kind of like my program and just kind of like where we started and then kind of where we're going. So I am the NACTEP project director for the Native American Career and Technical Education grant that comes from the Department of Education. And so we're on our third grant of funding from this particular source of funding. So back in, I think, 2017 or 16 is when I took over this role. It was like beginning of year 4 of this, that first grant that we got. So the focus is on student retention, persistence, and completion. And then with this new grant, which would be the third grant, we're expanding job placement strategies as well as like high school outreach. I like to highlight the best semester that I can remember as far as persistence. I had 24 students in my program, and all 24 returned in the fall from fall to spring. So I really thought that was a huge victory, because when I first started, I was calculating my persistence rate for our business program, and we had like 58 students, and then we had 58 students in the fall, and by the spring only 22 had returned, and I was kind of like blown away at how many didn't continue on to that next semester. And so like when I saw that data, I was kind of like very motivated to start educating students on what it requires to graduate, and that's like continuing to make progress on your degree plan. So we serve about 45 students right now. And our total enrollment at NHSC ranges from like 160 to 200 on average per semester. So we have a really small institution. So we do serve a really big portion of our student population. So what we've been doing within the NACTEP program is we have our students do an employment preparation portfolio. So basically we put together a binder. We ask them to do a resume, a sample cover letter. We have some spots where they fill out their job history, so they kind of have it handy. But I did have help with this presentation, so I'm just going to go ahead and follow it, because I think there's more details about that coming. So when we created this portfolio, what we did was we shared it with the faculty at the institution as a whole. So we basically created a usable assignment that instructors can download from the shared faculty files and implement in their assessment 200 courses. So when I did a survey of all of the departments way back when, about 5 of our 17 programs were doing something career preparation related in their capstone courses, which is what we call the what's labeled as the assessment 200 course. That resume portfolio that I just mentioned. And then the Job Service of North Dakota. We've been partnering with Job Service of North Dakota for the last, I want to say, 3 years. So what they do is they come out and then they help the students create like an online resume, so that when they're kind of finished with it, they can publish it and like employers can reach out to them. So we haven't gotten a whole lot of relationships in place right now to do like local jobs. I need you to be quiet, sweetie. So we haven't gotten a whole lot of strategies for connecting them with our tribal human resource departments. But one thing that we find is a lot of students in our NACTEP program are kind of already employed. Some are full-time employed, some are part-time, but a lot of them are already employed. But we do want to improve those relationships with the tribal HR and the tribal IHS and things like that. One of the softwares that we used was Are You Ready at nd.gov. And so what I know now is that they're providing this Are You Ready at nd.gov to all the tribal colleges in North Dakota for free. And we don't use it as much as we used to. But it's available for free, and if anybody wants that contact information, just reach out to me and I can get you connected with the lady who can get you the subscription. So, oh, that's what I just talked about, the job service partnership. Employment prep. So this is kind of like all of the different categories in our job preparation portfolio. So cover letter, a bio, like kind of about them, what they're passionate about, resume, a place to put their transcript. So basically what we made was a binder, and it's got some sheet protectors, and we give them that nice resume paper in there so that they can print it when they need. A work history worksheet, so like where they can list out their positions, their job responsibilities, their supervisor. We put a place in there for references. And then there's this career ready practices. It's kind of like a list. It was 10 different items, but now it's 12. But so the state of North Dakota has this thing that they put out for what does it mean to be like a good employee? So it goes through like relationships with coworkers, how you present yourself, your motivation at the job. So it's just like a simple little 2-page thing that we put in there just to kind of give them some encouragement about what it takes to be a good employee. We definitely want to expand on these things. But we just haven't had the manpower to do so quite yet. So the capstone paper, so we tell them to put like their final project from their programs in there, as well as like copies of their diploma, so that they're kind of always ready. And if they have, the opportunity to go to maybe like a career fair, that they can bring this with them and kind of directly share these resources or do the applications wherever they go. See. So this is a list of our general education requirements. So public speaking, writing, psychology of student success, assessment of learning, that's that 200 course, that capstone course that we made the assignment for. History of TAT and a language, college algebra, and intro to computers. Let's see. So career ready software. So some of the software that we use, I mentioned the Are You Ready at nd.gov, and it has kind of like a career interest inventory in there. And then based on like the results of that, it kind of connects students with names of different institutions that have the program that they're interested in. And I know that some of the high schools on our reservation, we have 5 different high schools, or 4 different high schools and 4 up to middle schools on the Fort Berthold reservation. And I believe at least one of them currently uses this Are You Ready? However, I know that each of them is kind of doing their own career choice ready type work. So North Dakota has this choice ready curriculum, or kind of like requirement. They want students to graduate with basically a mindset of being ready to go to college, join the military, go to work. And I know there's one more, but I can't think of it right now. So this software kind of helps them identify programs. It also has scholarship information. It has education about the FAFSA in there. And then it kind of helps them stay organized. So like if they want to start at our college, like what they would need to do to transfer. Yeah, in a little bit. Okay. So we're currently in the process of hiring an apprenticeship and employment relations person. So the 5 tribal colleges in North Dakota got a grant from the Hess Corporation that was bought out by Marathon now. But with that funding, we're going to be hiring an apprenticeship coordinator. but also they're going to be working on the employment relations aspect so that we can strengthen those relationships with our tribal HR departments, tribal IHS and things like that. The first thing that I want this person to do internally as far as employment relations is to survey the faculty at our institution, to find out if there's already people who have reached out to their program looking for employees or maybe offering them the needs of their workforce. So like giving them insight into what training their employees need. Because I know a lot, like a big discussion is that they have all these positions, but like nobody has the skills to like do the position. So they're looking for ways to basically train people to be able to do these different jobs. So another thing they'll be doing is networking with local employers, and then they'll also be fostering apprenticeships and tracking employment data within the college. So with the apprenticeships at NHSC, we kind of have two projects going right now. The first one is an apprenticeship readiness course. And so the idea behind this is to help help more help bring awareness to apprenticeship opportunities in North Dakota, and also help the students be prepared to do an apprenticeship, because it is a big commitment, but it's kind of like an alternative to a, you know, standard college education. So like there's 15 different building trades unions that I guess support that curriculum that we're using. And so what we're trying to do is get people acclimated and interested, and then also placed within one of the 15 building trades unions within North Dakota. And then the other project we have is kind of more like a on reservation one. And this is kind of where the focus of the HES grant dollars are dedicated. And that is going towards a company called Bright Fire LLC. They're like a tribal maintenance company, and our tribe has built like several very large structures. So like new schools, new rec centers, in different segments of our reservation. And so the gentleman who is the owner is kind of has that focus of training people locally on a reservation to be able to take care of those buildings. So we're working with him to establish an electrical apprenticeship, a plumbing apprenticeship, and an HVAC apprenticeship. And so we're kind of in the process of finalizing those documents and getting onboarded with the Department of Labor at North Dakota at the state office. So this is some data that my job placement person put together for us. So fall 21, one student working in the field. So 100% of the NACTEP graduates are working. So on average, like I said, we serve a very large portion of our student population. And so almost every semester, it ranges from about 30 to 60% of graduates, 30 to 60% of graduates that are students from our program. So we do, you know, we do see a lot of success with graduation, in terms of graduation for our program. Goals for graduate employer placement. So this is we have a job placement and CTE outreach coordinator. So he's kind of working on like the high school relationships, and kind of like has to do in line with helping them explore what their interests are and helping plant seeds on like, here, these are the opportunities in front of you, whichever one is interesting. Like we want to help you get connected with someone who can help you get there. So we've developed a couple of different materials. One of them we use during our summer immersion experience. We invite employers to the college and have them set up a booth, and then the students kind of have like a booklet that they're able to take around with them, and it kind of helps guide them through asking these people questions on what education was required of them to get their position, what kind of education did they need. So last year we got to do, there were some police officers that came, some mental health professionals, people from RTC, and then we invited the building trades people as well. So what we really hope to see is helping our students create career goals. So not just like jobs, like for career versus like a job where, you know, we want them to be able to take care of their families and you know,
Ryan,
be able to make enough money to like pay for vehicles and things like that.
I'll make sure I'm sorry.
You're good. So help our students by having them lead meetings. So our students participate in AHEC, those AHEC competitions, and they do really well. And then I guess the goal that our job placement person has is to get as many as 55% of our students employed or in the military. And the employed and military thing comes from the GEPRA measures that the Government Performance Reporting Act measures, like required measures from our grant, which monitors their job placement, whether or not they join the military or whether or not they continue their education, like from a 2-year to a 4-year, and things like that. So data tracking, historically within our own program, we've kind of done surveys to ask them if they're employed right now, what are their intentions for after they graduate? Is it getting a job or continuing their education? So that's one of the ways that our program tries to monitor who is working and what field they're working in. So the measure is like, okay, they trained in this field, but are they employed in that field? So, you know, are they putting their education to use? So we don't have anything like that, like set into our institution, like within our, like our registrar department, like where all the data is housed. So we have a goal of using our alumni module. Right now, we only own certain components of that module. So we're looking to purchase the full module that has a place for the employment tracking and things like that. So those are some discussions that we need to have. But also we'll need money for that too. So that concludes my presentation. Does anyone have any questions right away?